So hello there, YouTube again. So we're back again. I think this is episode 6, proving chess as an adult player. And today we're going to analyze a game from a tournament I played in in Nairobi Chess Club, some place around Gara Road. So it was 4 rounds. I finished with 1.5 out of 4, which sounds bad, but it's actually kind of an improvement. Because in this tournament, I actually beat the highest rated player. I've actually beaten in Classical 1482, and I drew versus a 1500. So I'm actually getting results finally against players higher rated than myself. So yeah, I'm just gonna look through the games. We're gonna analyze all 4. You're gonna see some blunders, great moves, brilliancies. Actually, the first game I won was a brilliant move, and yeah, not mine actually. I actually managed to settle this game, so I like using chess.com to analyze my games. Let me just go to analysis, and we can start. So yeah, so the first game is actually against Cyprian, who is actually from Elite Chess Club, which I think is a club I'm going to be representing this year. So it's actually a battle between teammates actually. So let's just see how it went. That game, I hope there's no problem. Exit analyzing. Okay, so analyzing. So I'm gonna use game review. Okay. As you can see from the graph, man, this was a tense game. By the end game was brilliant. Honestly, like the end game had so many themes. It was actually, yeah, the end game is actually the most exciting part of this game, and the brilliant move at the beginning. Because to be honest, I didn't see it. It's kind of it was a mistake for me, but the sharpness from my opponent to spot it is actually amazing. So I started with 1d4, and I normally play the Queen's Gambit. So my opponent responded knight f6, and he's trying to play the King's Indian. Or knight f6 really doesn't say what black wants to do, but every time I see it, it usually tells me it's either the Nimzowitsch or the King's Indian defense. But yeah, so I think I was kind of ready for it. Um, Yeah, so we go into the main lines for the King's Indian. As you can see, we're still in theory for so many lines, man. Like this is move. This is almost move 10, and I'm the one who makes the first inaccuracy. And I think it's because what? Oh, they wanted me to develop my bishop. Okay. I think for some weird reason I didn't want to play this early. Which is this better at queen takes? Bishop g5. I normally don't like playing bishop g5 because it's h6, and I don't like having to go back and all that. When I want to develop my bishop there, first of all, I play something like this, then queen here. But right now I can't do that because the two knights are attacking this pawn, e4, which, by the way, every tournament, the e4 pawn drops. You will see in all 4 games. Not all 4 games, okay. Uh, most of the time my e4 pawn drops, and it's a very important pawn, so it's kind of heartbreaking. But yeah, so in this position, instead of playing that, I played a3, and then he played h3, just kind of to prevent that move. Bishop g5, prophylactic move, and then I played rook to b2. And I remember I had this feeling in the tournament that this felt weird because the rook is kind of shut off and stuff like that, and the bishop and the queen and the rook are kind of in the same diagonal. But I had my pawn here, and it's defended by 2 pieces, and I was like, okay, maybe that wasn't anything. Then I saw my opponent was taking for so long, And then he played this. Bang! Brilliancy. And it's one of those points where you immediately know you can't take back the knight. So for example, if I take back, which is actually what I played, but if he takes back, I can no longer take back with the queen that is losing to this. And normally this would be a normal skewer, but this is worse than a skewer because you're just losing your rook. And it is what, two knights for a rook, a knight, and a pawn. So -3. So this situation is so bad, and we can't even trap his bishop. So, so yeah, this is just lost. But I guess I took concession. I didn't take back. I don't even really know what the computer was going to play here. It's just lost. And yeah, the computer had this idea, which by the way was helped by one of my friends. Usually when I try to improve in chess, I look for stronger players. They normally give me advice, and I think Isa told me that against the King's Indian, it's better to try for a queenside attack because the king side is very hard to attack. You can see the bishop is here, the rook, these pawns, the knight, the queen and the bishop are all pointing towards his side. It's hard to create an attack at my level. We're just gonna put that. So yeah, and right now I'm down a pawn, so it's kind of like a Hail Mary to throw in to try and get an attack on the queen side, which I eventually do, and which is actually what won me the game. And he goes back to knight c5, and I retreat back to knight to d2. And I was actually really happy about this move, this being the best move. And right now I don't know, I can't really remember why all these moves are there. I really wanted him to take my light square bishop because normally you don't want to exchange, but I didn't see the use. And then this move even blocks the bishop, but the knight I felt like it was covering a lot of good squares. So yeah, and I think I really wanted to play a 4, but I'm not sure because this is now a pass pawn. It's not only that he took maybe 4 pawn, he made this in 5 pawn or pass pawn. So yeah, he plays f5, and he's expanding, and it's looking very scary. But there's something that we always say in chess. Chess is hard, and for me, I thought I know he's winning. It's not that I didn't know, but I wanted him to prove it. So I just held on. So eventually, I did play b4, expanding on the queen side, kind of forcing the exchange, and now I'm putting my pieces. The only advantage of actually being in a losing position, your moves are easier to find. As you can see, I keep on finding the best computer moves. And the more inaccuracies he gets, the closer I am to equalizing every single time. And here I just thought that if we go to an endgame, it's better because you can see from the pawn stop that could potentially come. Um, his attack is way stronger than mine, so I just had to. I wanted to exchange pieces, and we go into an endgame, and I know how sharp endgames are. No matter what anyone tells me, I know endgames are sharp. Even if you go into an endgame when you're losing, I think you have better chances there. Because if he has all these pieces, there's a high chance I can't defend. I'm going to lose another piece, and then the game will be over. So he actually exchanges everything, and the position is at 1.64. He brings in his queen, but his queen is all alone here, and he's attacking my piece by the way, so kind of how to bring my bishop to defend. Everything is kind of passive. And you just see he's in a winning position, but slowly by slowly, any move he makes kind of seems shaky. He kind of wants me to exchange. So this game, I was kind of playing my opponent more than the position because the moment he played e4, I was like, he wants me to exchange so that his king can come up, and I was thinking maybe if I take, he takes. There may be a tactic with the check, but there's nothing I saw at least, and so I didn't. I said I will exchange on my own terms. So the guy played bishop b2. He brought back his queen, which, like I said, I wanted an end game, which apparently the computer hit. Because me, I thought it was a good thing to go into an end game because I didn't see any way for him to activate his light square bishop. His light square bishop is passive, and my knight is It's not doing anything right now, but at least my knight can move around. Yeah, but there's no way, I realized that there's no way I can prevent his king from coming in, and with his pawn side majority, he will eventually open up for his bishop and it will be trouble for me. Yeah, but just continue. And right here, maybe I should turn off the engine, but it's really no need. I'm not that good a player to act like I fully understand positions. So in this position, he played c6, and like I told you just a few moves ago, I thought his slide squared bishop was hard to bring into the game, which is what he kind of wants desperately, so that he can, he can exploit the advantage. As you can see, the computer is saying it's +3. +3, what it means, it's basically the computer is saying, even though he's only up a pawn, it evaluates like I'm down 3 points of material. That's kind of how the evaluation works. Or I'm not really sure. Maybe someone can explain better. So when he played c6, it's one of those things like oh, in nationals, when he played nationals, which was horrible tournament by the way. One day maybe I'll share, but horrible tournament for me. And I messed up in the first game, upper piece, and I messed up because I thought that my opponent has to take back in the sequence. So yeah, when he played c6, I looked at this position and I thought at first I wanted to take like immediately b takes on c6 and he takes back, and then I'll probably have to take back or I wait, but I have no advantage. But then like I was like, wait, can I create a pass pawn here, right? So I took here, right, which is the best computer move, and if you've noticed, the eval went from +3 to +0.6. Yeah, so I took on c6 with a d pawn, and the difference now is we push on b6. And for those who haven't noticed, which is of course I noticed after, because it's classical and I've been thinking about this for a while. But what the implications of d6 is that I'm winning his bishop. Because right now, if he doesn't play bishop to c8 right now, he plays a random move. See, I'm creating a queen. There's nothing he can do to stop it, because his king is all the way on the other side of the board. So he has to play bishop c8. So, and that's exactly what he played to stop me from doing that. And then here we maneuver with a knight. We're coming here, we threaten to push, and now he has to take to prevent me from promoting to a queen. And yeah, so we carry on. So here again, this is kind of me chickening out again, which is, I guess nowadays I'm getting better with dealing with the tournament pressure and all that. Yeah, for those who've known me for a long time, I was participating in esports events, FIFA, Clash Royale, so many games, and I don't know why I still have nerves to this day, but I'm kind of getting better with it now. So here I definitely wanted to play c5. I don't know why I didn't like this. It's because I thought that eventually after we exchange, okay, let me do the lines better. I didn't like this move. I didn't like c5 because I thought after his king tries to come closer, I play 95, king comes closer, I finally push b7, we exchange this, and the king gets closer. I really have no idea how I thought he could take my pawn on c5, because he doesn't have any supporting cast, and my knight may not be the best piece to defend this pawn, because he can easily get chased around by the king and stuff like that. And then maybe his threats can come, because his pawn is going to come to d3 no matter what I do, because he's not the kind of player, if I play f3 he's going to take and weaken his pawn. So yeah, I guess what I just wanted to do is that I know I'm winning this piece, and I thought that would be enough. And as the game progresses, as you can see, the computer hits that move from +2 to like plus 0.6, which I'm wondering actually, when did the eval bar change? Oh, after c5. So what should he have played actually? King closer, which, okay, it's kind of the idea I was thinking of. I think I think at this point he was just looking for any way to swindle to create complications, which sometimes what I think is the computer may not be the best way to analyze this. Okay, when you're losing, the computer may not be your best friend in finding a win. What I mean is that sometimes the best moves are things you can calculate. They're not as tricky, but when you know you're kind of you have a pass pawn and it's on the third rank, like here, it can get tricky. You know, like for example, if I decide I don't want to play here, is that just lost? Yeah, it's lost because the pawn is just running away. So it's kind of trickier for humans to calculate. So so immediately I notice that I have to go back, otherwise this pawn is going to promote. I bring back my knight, and then I play this very good move h3. I'm actually really proud of this endgame. So here he plays h4, and I can't take because if I take, he's going to take back, and my pawn on h3 is just going to be too weak. He's going to take it back, and then I think at that point he's going to be winning actually. So I just played king to d2, blockading the pawn, and right now I think I can bring in my pawn. And the idea with pushing h3 was actually to create this kind of barricade so that his king may never get in. Yeah. And the idea, what I was thinking of, I wanted to exchange my knight for 3 pawns. I wanted to figure a way to do that so that it would be a pawn versus 2 pawns, which I thought, I know there's some lines that can be drawish, but at least I'll be the one with the chances. So there's this king there, and you can see this position is actually drawish. And here he plays g5, which is kind of what I was hoping for. So I bring my king in, and now I'm preventing him from playing here. Not really sure if I can remember these lines now. Yeah, because I create a pass pawn. Yeah. So actually, yeah. So king e3 is a good move, and now my knight is actually stopping this pawn from also promoting. So my king can actually get into the game. And then I played g4. Like the end game moves I played in this tournament are actually really good, and actually the 2 games I lost is because they didn't go to an end game. I'm kind of forgetting game 2, but game 3 and 4 they were both. Game 4 was an end game and we drew. This is an end game. Yeah. Anyway, this is just maneuvering here and there, and then he plays f4, which by the this was actually kind of interesting because I was calculating. I remember here, actually I want to see right now because I remember I was calculating 93, and the idea was that after he pushes, I finally have my exchange of 3 pawns for a knight. So yeah, that's the line, you'll see it in a second. Another one I was calculating was knight d2. I thought this just blocks everything, and right now then my king can actually be active now, because if he tries this, which that actually seems dangerous. I'm not sure. I just want to see why. I want to see the best move. Let me see. He's actually 92. I'm actually not joking. That's the idea that I had. So anyway, he plays f4, and apparently, as you can see, like I told you, the end game is so sharp. My idea was to exchange the 3 pawns, and I have no idea what the computer wants at this point. Okay. Or right now I can just grab his pawns for free. So actually I made things more complicated, and it's actually a draw at this point. And like I told you, the end game is so sharp. So at this point he plays this, and I could see he was really rushing his moves because it looks drawish. It looks drawish. And I could see he was rushing, and when I thought about him wanting to block me here, for some reason I thought instinctively it just looks good for me, because I had the idea, I can create a pass pawn, and him, even if he's able to like sneak in or something like that, my king is already on this side, but his king is slightly away from these files, from these ranks, right? And that's where I'm going to promote, but my king is close to stopping his. So I can easily sacrifice my pawn and do something with it. So I thought him following me was not a good idea. there was, I think, like there's kind of lines with the positions. So for example, if I do triangulation just to lose tempo, so maybe I play here, left plays here, I play here, then here. It's not a draw. I thought it would be a draw, but it's not. Anyway, I thought of lines like this, and now after I play h5, now my king is coming, and I think here he still thought it was a draw. I don't know if that's what he thought, but according to his body language, that's what I thought. But me in my head, I was already even counting physically. I was already like, like I'm kind of a bad player when I'm winning, and a bad loser when I'm a sore loser and a bad winner. So I was like counting on the board like one, two, three. That means his king cannot move more than three squares away from this square, from h8. So I was calculating all these lines, and then I saw um, his, and then so because he thought that he had a position that my king can never come in to take his pawn. Maybe that he shuffles here and there, but my king is coming in. There's nothing he can really do. And if you continue like shuffling here, like let's say continue like saying that I'm just going to maintain a position. Yeah, even right here, it's already too late. Yeah, he can no longer keep on chasing. So that was the idea. He has to actually let me in. So he lets me in and he gets to this position, and now I force him back and I take his pawn. And now this is completely winning. And here, fun story is that my opponent, okay, the opponents next to us, the game next to us. My opponent, no, sorry, uh, one of the players was completely winning in an end game. I think he had two passes, a knight, whatever, and his opponent just left with a king. And he promoted to a queen, and I remember his opponent was celebrating. And I looked to the position, and the knight, the opponent's knight, the queen, the king, they all coordinated to block the king from having any valid squares. So up like, I don't know, like 14 points of material, the game ended in stalemate, and that kind of put cold feet to me. So even in this position, I was calculating, and I remember I had taken two queens from my board and the other side of the board because I finished that game, just to intimidate my opponent that I'm going to promote both. And then at some point after saying that, I was just like, I returned one queen. I was like, I'm going to sacrifice a pawn. I'm not going to try anything fancy here. So I knew if I got to like f7, if I got to f7, there's no way the king is going to stop me from promoting this pawn. And I was like, he can do whatever he wants to this pawn. So I pushed up, and at this point in the game, my opponent said that the game was stalemate, and I was so frustrated. Like I was so frustrated because I've calculated all of these lines and I knew I was winning. This is definitely completely winning. And to be honest, I was so infuriated. I even almost threw a pawn. I remember the one I was holding, and I was like, wait, I calculated everything, and then okay, I'm gonna be honest. The reaction of the arbiter who was there, because our game was the last one, the reaction of the arbiter and some spectator was watching the game, it kind of told me that I was actually getting swindled. so so right here, it looks like stalemate because the king doesn't have any squares, but technically my h point is not being defended. So he takes, and then I promote to a queen, and at this point he resigned because lightning is not going to strike twice. I'm not going to mess up again, and it's classical, so I think at this point, wait, what's actually going on here? There's no I'm going to mess again because I know this, like there's this maneuver to checkmate the king and queen. Yeah, so this was the first game against Cyprian, and he's actually a very strong player because I was the only loss he had in the tournament. This is kind of crazy. I messed up in most of the other games, but yeah, I'm seeing the timestamp here and it's actually taking so long, so I'm just gonna end it here. Thank you for all who have stayed. Yeah, and if you want to see any interesting games and stuff like that, you can always let me know. I don't post other people's games because there's already a YouTuber who does that, Mwega. So I'm here just here to enjoy chess and play my